Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, and I am live here on WYAB. My headphones have magically quit working, but you know what? We're professionals here. We will just keep rolling right on along here on a fabulous Tuesday morning. We got a lot of news to talk about today, a lot of stories. So let's get started. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. Mazda of Jackson phone line. Man, my good friends out there at Mazda of Jackson, get over there today and check out the all-new CX-9 and take it for a test drive, see what you think about it, and come prepared to do some paperwork and take that thing home with you. Man, it's good-looking vehicles. And every purchase comes with a limited powertrain lifetime warranty at Mazda of Jackson. You're also going to get a free 43-inch TV. You can't beat that. So, all right, I got my headphone situation reworked here. Not 100% sure what happened with my other ones there. They worked yesterday. But again, we're professionals here. We ain't going to let a little pesky situation like headphones not working stop us from rolling this train on down the tracks. Yesterday, a bit of an open forum today, too, by the way. If you guys got anything you want to get off your chest, we hadn't done a open forum in a while. Feel free to give us a call. I just saw a completely off topic of anything I was going to discuss. I was kind of going through trending news topics on Twitter a minute ago, and I see where Shifty Shell Shock of Crazy Town has passed away at 49 years old. Y'all may remember the singer of Crazy Town. Yeah, they had that song, Butterfly. Butterfly, come through me, baby. Anyway, one of those bands from the late 90s, early 2000s that kind of snuck in the back door of the new metal, kind of Limp Bizkit style bands, but I don't know. I never got that vibe from them, but neither here nor there. They were a big MTV band for about 5 minutes, and Shifty Shell Shock has had a drug problem ever since. So rest in peace. But frankly, I was more surprised that he was still alive, to be honest. So anyway, the verdict came down yesterday in the Jordan Cummins, well, not the verdict, the sentencing came down yesterday in the Jordan Cummins double murder trial out there, or over there, should I say, in Jackson, in Judge Faye Peterson's Hinds County courtroom. No surprise. It could either have been concurrent or consecutive. I don't think it really matters. It's 2 life sentences. Sean did a great piece. Our very own Sean Yurtkaran. You can go to magnoliatribune.com right now and check out Sean's piece he did about it, and just kind of broke it down and broke down the victims' impact statements, which I thought were very powerful. And if we had better audio of those, I'd play them in here right now. I thought, you just felt very, I couldn't understand the fella's Josh Spann. I couldn't understand his aunt. She just wasn't talking loud enough, and the audio wasn't great in the courtroom. And then I thought the father of Jubilee Simpkins, I thought he did a phenomenal job holding it together. And he's a lawyer as well. I thought he did a phenomenal job of explaining what the family had been through and what Jordan had taken from them. And I just think that anybody that's a parent and you watch that, good luck holding it together. Very commendable watching that as a parent and him being able to get through that. And even, I know this ain't going to be popular, but, I'm not going to ever lie, for better or for worse. I thought that Jordan Cummins' mother, even though she had gotten arrested and all sorts of stuff throughout this trial. You know, I thought her closing statements, victim impact statement, I thought it was very powerful too, and I did have some sympathy for her. And I always have sympathy for the families of criminals because they don't ask for this stuff most of the time. Now, there are some exceptions. Now, you look at what's going on in a city like Jackson, there are a lot of mothers in particular, fathers, that raise their kids up to be thug trash. And when they baby gets mowed down in the streets or arrested, my baby didn't do nothing. Yeah. The streets raised your kid since they were about 3 years old and could stand out there. That just hits different. You put them into that environment. They are a product of their environment. But traditionally, you know, when a normal family has a person that ends up doing some messed up stuff and they go to jail, you do feel bad for the family because, and it's almost in a weird way. Maybe I'm wrong on this because I haven't had to personally experience this. So if you have, and I haven't, I do apologize if I'm off base here. But for the family of the deceased, again, I'm probably wrong, but it makes sense in my head. At least you have closure. You know, at least you have some closure. As terrible as it is, you can reconcile by knowing that your loved one's in a better place. And they're walking on those golden roads. And they're never having to worry about anything again. You know, and you'll be able to join them again one day. Where the other family of the suspect, of the killer, you know, different set of circumstances, right? They'll most likely never get to see their family member again, at least on this side of the world, outside of a cage. They have to worry about their safety constantly for years and years and years. What's going on in jail? You know, are they being raped right now? Are they dropping the soap? You know, I'm not trying to sound funny either, but these are things that I would think you would worry about with your loved one, especially a male in jail for 40, 50 years. You know, is he going to get killed today? Just always sitting anxiously awaiting, every time the phone rings. Is that them telling me that something's happened? You know, they don't, in most cases, they don't ask for that. You know, that's something that gets shoved upon them, and then they become a victim of this too. So there really are no victimless crimes, especially crimes that have victims. It destroys multiple families. This one incident down there at the fairgrounds that day, or at that parade, however you want to say that, this one incident destroyed the Spann family. I don't want to say destroyed the families. Their family bond may be just fine, but it messes them up badly. It changes these families forever. Irreconcilable damages. Irreparable damages. The Simpkins family. The Cummins family. The girlfriend, Jenny. I mean, she's still in jail. You know, she lost somebody. It's just the whole thing. It's tragic. And my point being, regardless of how you think that thing ended, or whose fault, or if it wasn't self-defense, or whatever, hot heads, cooler heads should have prevailed. And one moment changed that many lives forever. One moment. When those guys decided to get out of that truck and play captain and go save that girl, when he decided to not take that butt whooping and to just start randomly firing the gun, when we could just trace it back, you know, just like a movie, you can trace it back to every decision, every step, everything that was made that day. You know, Simpkins getting in the truck with those folks. You know, how planned was that? Was that spontaneous? I mean, you just start, it's like the butterfly effect. You start piecing it all together. But so many lives tragically lost and ruined and families destroyed and torn apart in an instant in something so avoidable. Guys, I'm going to speak from the male perspective here. If you're in a toxic relationship, women, y'all listen as well, but I'm just talking to my guys here. Just flip the energy over to yourselves if it's the other way around. Guys, if you're in a toxic relationship and you've got somebody that you feel like you had to be physical with and that leads to situations like this, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. You probably, if you like to hit on women, regardless of what they do to you, how crazy they make you, how disrespectful they are, how many other guys they looking at, talking to, procreating with, whatever, you're in control of that. All you got to do is stand up, walk out the door, and be done with it. Is that ever easy when feelings are involved? No. Jordan Cummins is going to spend the rest of his life in prison, or at least till he's 65 years old. There is no parole. There is no chance of parole. He has an opportunity to go before whoever the circuit court judge is when he's 65 years old, in roughly 40 years. And they can decide if they want to commute or whatever the technical term is and let him out of jail. He probably ain't getting out of jail. Whether they had ran those sentences concurrently or consecutively. They ran them concurrently. That means side by side. I get this stuff confused sometimes, so I try to speak very basics here. It's like side by side, two cars driving down the street beside each other. So really it's one life sentence. But you rest assured, if he's still alive and 65 years old and wants to get out of jail, they're probably not going to treat it like they were concurrent. They're probably going to say, no, you killed two people. First degree. Now, he's got an appeal. We'll see what happens. But I think at the end of the day, and I said this yesterday, people get mad at me when I speak the truth. That's why I know I'm speaking the truth, because people get mad. I've two things here. Three things, and we're going to close the chapter on Jordan Cummins. He's white and he killed two black people in Hinds County. You're a fool if you don't think that played into this. You're a fool. If nothing else, it started him so far back that even if they were, you had self-defense, even if you could overlook the Simpkins girl, the innocent victim being killed, even if you could overlook the jailhouse, the dumbest jailhouse video I've ever seen. And I'm not saying you should or you could overlook those things, by the way. I'm just saying theoretically. If you just wanted to get to, just to get to fair standing, to equal standing, you had to overcome the fact that he's a white dude that killed two black folks in Jackson. But apparently a lot of people online seem to have a big problem with accepting the fact that the scales of oppression can weigh against somebody other than black people, too. They get so mad at me for suggesting that race was a factor. You're an idiot if you don't think race was a factor. I mean, I think, frankly, especially after watching the video, I think those boys rolled up on him. And I didn't see him beat no girl's butt. I ain't saying he didn't. I'm just saying. I think had he just shot the Span boy and Simpkins hadn't have got killed and he hadn't have made that video, he had a much better chance of walking out of that thing based on what I saw on that video, because they look like the aggressors. But here's the thing. I'm going to close in this. We talk a lot about effing around and finding out. Mess with me, you going to find out. Fafo, F around, find out. Well, you better make damn sure that you're willing to spend the rest of your life in prison, or that you know damn well 12 jurors are going to agree that it was self-defense, that all the witnesses are going to agree that it was self-defense. Because whether it was or wasn't, for Jordan, he's spending the rest of his life in jail. Every now and then it may just be better to take that butt whooping and live to fight another day. Now, it's hard to know when that is. There's people that said those other people pulled guns first. It's a split call, split decision. But that's exactly why I moved out of Hinds County. I was not going to put myself in a situation like this ever. It's why I don't mess with toxic women. Been there, done that. God has blessed me with as sane of a girl as I've ever met in my life. As least toxic of a female as I've ever met in my life. She's not toxic at all. I'm just making the point. As men, you got to start balancing these things out. All right. That's all I got to say about that. Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. We'll be right back.